This is a really good and common question that's coming up. It is a short one, but it says, how long did it roughly take you to get back to 20/20 vision again? It's a short question, but probably going to be a long answer. I've done a couple of videos on this. If you go back to almost the beginning of my channel, I think it's called My Story, and then My Story with photos, two videos where I describe where I was in terms of my vision and my background and everything. But if you haven't seen those videos, I can reiterate here. How long did it take me to get back to 20/20 vision? Well, I suppose I started wearing glasses at 13, and I stopped wearing glasses at the end of 2020, so that would have made me 36. So yeah, it took me 23 years to get back to seeing 20/20. But yeah, so yeah, I started wearing glasses when I was 13, and then when I got to 24, that was when my eyesight was the worst. I got to -2 spherical, and they were looking to move me to -1 on cylinder, and yeah, my eyes just didn't feel good, and I knew, because I was doing an office job and working on a computer all the time, my eyes seemed to be deteriorating at a more rapid rate, because this was when I went from school age, when even though I was wearing glasses, I still spent a lot of time outdoors, so I was wearing contact lenses, but I was still using my vision in the distance, so I wasn't spending as much time in hyperopic defocus, even though I was using my full prescription. But then once I moved to working a lot indoors and being on computers, and I didn't know any better, I was wearing my full prescription, then I entered that realm of being in hyperopic defocus, and my eyesight started to deteriorate rapidly. Eyes didn't feel good. I asked the opticians, is there anything they could do about it, or what should I do? They didn't have any good suggestions other than to suggest going back to get stronger glasses, so that's when I started to look into it. So that was when I was aged 24, and then yeah, 12, 13 years until I stopped wearing glasses. So I had a period there of basically learning and trying lots of different methods. Tried the Bates method. I just tried a method where I didn't know about normalizing differential glasses, but I spoke to an optician who was a developmental optician, and they suggested, actually no, if I remember correctly, I read somewhere on a forum that if you wore weakened glasses, at least stop your eyesight from deteriorating any further. So I suggested this to this developmental optician, and in fact he said, yep, that's a really good idea, and it probably will stop you getting worse. So instead of wearing -2, which was my full prescription, I was wearing -1.25 for a long period. I think it was like 2010. No, it was about 2008 to about 2017. So my eyesight stopped getting worse in that period because I wore the weakened glasses, but my eyes still didn't feel good. I didn't discover how to use my eyes properly. I did some things. There was a program called Rebuild Your Vision. This is back in the early days of the internet, but I bought that as well around 2008, which had a series of eye exercises in it, which was definitely on the right track. It was difficult to practice the eye exercises though every day. If I did them, my eyes felt really good, and my vision improved. Definitely initially after like doing the exercises, which would take about 20 to 30 minutes a day, my eyes felt better. But then I go back to the office and wear my full prescription glasses and do close-up, and I went backwards again. Knowing what I know now, I could potentially have benefited more from that by not wearing full prescription up close. And yeah, in my case, I probably could have gotten away with a bit of active focus and not using differential glasses, or even using very mild differential glasses at that point. So I could have made progress faster. But anyway, that's the way things worked out. Every day is a school day, and you have to keep learning. And yeah, so I got to 2017 then, and I learned about active focus, and tried it, couldn't do it, made no progress. It seemed like a very nebulous concept, didn't really work for me, but it was always in the back of my head. So I continued wearing my weaker prescription glasses, and then one day in 2019, I think it was October 2019, I was on a walk during my lunch break from work, and I was walking alongside a canal in an industrial area, but there's plenty of buildings around, like tall buildings with antennas or masts on the top of them, and I was walking and just looking into the distance at these masts, and I wasn't really consciously trying to active focus or do anything. But then after I was walking for about 20 minutes, I started to realize, am I imagining this, or some of these actually getting a bit clearer? And I stayed a little bit too long on my lunch break that day. I normally would have walked only for half an hour, but I think I walked for 40 or 45 minutes because I got really excited, thinking, hang on, is this active focus? Have I finally cracked the code, as it were? And sure enough, I could see the masts much clearer on that walk. And I came back to the office then, and in the office they had posters on the wall with text on it, and I looked at the text and I said, I think I can see that a little bit more clearly than when I left. So for the next few weeks, every day on that lunch break, I did that walk and I looked at the masts, just focused into the long distance. And I think I talked about this in another question. People think about active focus as something you have to really try and get. If that's not working for you, just try and let it come to you. Sounds a bit fluffy, but focus, or keep your gaze at something that's at the edge of your blur horizon, and do it for a long time. I say long time, like 20, 30 minutes. You might find that your eyes start to clear that up naturally, because they're just gradually getting more used to seeing into the distance. There's lots of studies on this about axial length shortening with myopic defocus that I've gone into before. But anyway, that's a different video for another day. But yeah, try that, and if you do those walks, you might find that things start to become a bit clearer. But anyway, to answer your question, then my journey back to 2020, so that was October 2019. I did that for a couple of months, and I noticed a lot of improvement. And yeah, basically I became a little bit obsessed then, because I was very excited by it. And if I get my dates right, I think by January then in 2020, so it was October, November, December, January, I went to an optician to get my eyes tested, and I think it was minus 0.5 spherical and something similar for the cylinder. And I used to have on my driver's license a code on the back which said I have to wear corrective lenses when driving, and I said, am I okay to drive now without these? And they said, in fact you are, you're better than 20/40 vision now. So she gave me a piece of paper which said that you don't have to wear your glasses anymore when you're driving, which I sent away to the relevant agency, and then I got my new driver license issued back with the code removed, which was just a massive victory, coming from the point in 2008 when I was working on screens the whole time and just feeling like my eyesight was just going to get worse and worse. I finally felt like, oh, now I know how to manage this thing. And it's the positivity of and the empowerment of knowing that you're in control again. Because for people who've had glasses, you feel like you relinquish control over that progress, and well, not progress, over your eyes, and they just seem to deteriorate over and over. You go back to the opticians and they give you stronger glasses, and it's not a nice experience. So yeah, that was very encouraging. And then for the rest of 2020, then I continued to practice using my distance vision, active focus, and yeah, basically, as I didn't need to wear them for driving, and yeah, I just stopped then in 2020. So now it's 2025, August 2025 now as I record this video, and I haven't worn the glasses since then. So yeah, that's a very long-winded answer, but if you were to look at it, my improvement rate, I probably improved by a diopter and a half in about a year and a half. So yeah, whilst also removing most of the astigmatism in that time, and then yeah, there was a tiny bit of astigmatism left at the end of 2020, which I managed to clear up then in 2021. But yeah, so you can look at an improvement rate of about a diopter a year, maybe minus 0.75, 3/4 of a diopter is more realistic. But anyway, it's not, you don't need to be in a rush to do this. It's once you get on that journey of improving, then you're back in control and back being empowered about being in control of your own vision. So once you do that, then you're off to the races and you can get better. So for example, if you're at -4 and you're improving at a diopter a year, you're going to be back to 2020 in 4 years. But also in 1 year, the difference when you're at -3 compared to -4 is huge. And in 2 years, you'd be down to -2. You're almost at the point where you don't need glasses when you're indoors anymore and you can see everything. So yeah, the improvement in your lifestyle and quality of life is huge. So yeah, to answer your question, about a diopter a year, give or take, but be patient with it, don't rush it. Just try to reduce bad habits. Don't wear your full prescription when you're looking at close-up things. Get your normalized glasses, get your differential glasses. Use your vision at the end of its blur horizon. Use active focus to clear up that blurry vision, and then make a reduction in your prescriptions once your eyesight improves. That takes about 3 or 4 months usually in between if you're a higher myope, and yeah, that's the whole process. I hope that answers your question. I know it was a long one, but for people who haven't seen the my story videos, it's probably good to explain if you're new here. So yeah, hopefully that was beneficial, and thanks for the question.